that this gentleman definitely is faithful to his community. And so, yes, hurrah. And so let me introduce you to an amazing representative here at BeeKonnected, our COO, Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Dave, Mr. My mind just went blank. My mind just went blank. Mr. J.R. Johnny Reed. Got a little stage fright there, J.R. J.R., take it away.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts just got promoted. There you go. Thanks, Lane. And hey, I guess I could say hola and aloha and sodikap and ohio gozaimasu and whatever language that makes you happy. Welcome to BeeKonnected. It's just a wonderful time to be here. I'm very honored to be with you this Saturday morning here in the United States. We are live in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where we moved the company from Texas a couple years ago. So we have been doing this for many years as far as our Saturday shows, but you know, this is a really important show. This is an important time in BeeKonnected's history because we did a lot of things that we're going to be discussing. If you're brand new with us here today, if you've been with us a while, there's new content, so pay attention. There's a lot of amazing stuff. You know, as you get to be my age, I'm a baby boomer, you start reflecting. And I was thinking about this morning before, you know, it gets to be over 100 degrees here in Vegas. It's that special time where your face melts off in the summer. But I thought about all the championship teams I got to participate on from, you know.
Hey, JR, your camera's not working. Can you turn it off, turn it back on real quick?
Well, I was having a bad hair day, so I was trying to hide.
Had bad day.
Oops. Am I there? I see me.
I do not. Does anybody else?
No.
JR, why don't you go out and come back in real quick?
Okay, fine.
Lane, take it from here.
All right, let me put my camera back on here. So, all right, so let's try this again. This is, you know, you gotta love technology, and yeah, he'll be right back with us. So, who is excited now that we have a big crowd here? Who is excited about these Blitz events? What do you think about that? All right, looks like we have JR back, so let's introduce Johnny J.R. Reed, our Chief Operating Officer, and take it away from here.
So before I so rudely interrupted myself, I've been you get to kind of reminisce on stuff, and I was thinking back on all the championship teams that I got to participate on from sports in high school where we won the state meet. But it took, you know, those of us that were in that sport, we had to sacrifice, and I ran like over 10,000 miles before I turned 17. And then of course, joining the Marines, I picked the Marines just because they were the best perception-wise. I don't have any disrespect for, you know, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army. And then when I got into the business world, I ended up being fortunate enough to be recruited into the #1 Japanese company in the world that did RF communications. I've always been in technology. The cell phone industry was, you know, in its infancy stage 25 years ago. So yeah, we did have an opportunity to grow over 200 stores here in the United States. Never sold a phone, by the way. I just know how to help build a business. And then when the CEO of this company, BeeKonnected, called me up and asked me to join her in this venture, I felt very honored, right? Because I knew when she told me what she was thinking about, it was going to be something special. But being a guy that builds infrastructure, you know, I threw a little caution out there and said, you know, this isn't going to be easy. It's going to take several years to actually get anywhere because you're talking about a global infrastructure. You're talking about doing something that less than 0.1 of 1% businesses can accomplish. And you're probably going to have to sell most of your assets because no one's going to want to give us money in the beginning because they're going to think we're crazy. But of course, the positive mindset that she has just is impenetrable, right? She's just one of these people that not only is she see the glass as half full, she's trying to get another glass, right? So again, this is a person that just what's the word I'm looking for? She's always looking for the solution, always looking for the win, and she's a pleasure to be with, a pleasure to work with, and I've worked with a lot of very successful people. Nobody nicer, but at the same time, completely focused on the mission at hand. So if you're with us for the first time, we want to say welcome. We're going to cover today, who are we, and where are we going, right? This is the most important thing if you're brand new, is like know the case history, know where we're at now, and then we want to make sure that we paint a very clear picture where BeeKonnected is going, because it's kind of going to go to the moon, as one of our reps used to say, or does say. And so without further ado, the much smarter of the two founders, I will say that, but that's not even in question. It's not even a debate. The person who's the architect, who thought all this up, the one that has the leadership skills necessary to pull this off, our CEO, Ms. Tanya Hoffman.
And hello, everyone. Last night I went and picked up my son from the airport because he came home for the summer, and people think I'm crazy, as it is, but my favorite place is baggage claim in the airports, because you see all the families running up to each other, so excited to see each other, in person, give each other a hug. And I feel like that every Saturday here. It's like, oh, we get to see all of our family here, coming together and having a great time.
So you had a very interesting week, I believe, there, Ms. CEO.
I did. Oh my goodness. The excitement level is just continually going up, but people are, how do you always say it? It's like, they bit a piece of the cookie, right? They're like, oh my God, this is so good, I want more. And then we had that opportunity this week with one of our ladies who had been in the bonus pool forever, decided, no. She wants to be an actual investor. So I am so honored to have her part of the, inner circle.
Yeah, we'll kind of cover that a little bit later. So a lot of things happening. The troops are doing a great job. The blitz is going off. A lot of people are getting to hone their skills. Now, we don't want to wear people out with a lot of stuff. So let's kind of, if it's okay, let's kind of jump into our little slideshow, our little slide deck we have for you here, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully I can still navigate our own software. So does that come up on the screen there for you, Tommy?
Yes.
Okay, so company.
No, it's not the PowerPoint. I just see you have to share the PowerPoint. Did you share entire screen?
Who knows?
There you go. It's getting there.
Oop, is that up there?
Yep, it's there.
So there's Mr. David Roberts there, front and center in our overview. If you don't know Mr. Roberts, having connected with Mr. Roberts, I definitely would encourage you to do so. Used to be the vice president of General Motors. Amazing person. Been with us for almost this entire journey. Now, if you're brand new or you've been with us a while, these are some important things that you want to discuss when talking to people, especially if you're dealing with bigger companies. They're going to want to know a little bit more than the widget. They need to know a little bit more facts about, who is this? Because we're making a play. We're aggressively marketing around the world now, knowing that this is a U.S.-based company that launched in February of 2020. Now, Tanya, you decided to be a disruptor right out of the gate. What was that all about?
Before, I've owned different companies. One, I created the Public Speaker Association. Before that, I created 2 business networking group organizations that had 35 chapters throughout Texas. And when I sold each one of those, it was for a very specific reason, is I found things that I needed to help, especially the entrepreneurs, the small business owners, the coaches, the direct sales industry, people that are at home usually, especially now that the pandemic, hit everybody, to really help them grow. Because if I found a challenge, which I did in the other social platforms, I'm like, there's got to be a solution. And when I can't find a solution, I just decide to go make it. So, and then I was really excited when you were like, oh, I want to be on this journey too. I'm like, are you that crazy? Okay, let's go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of this is beta. So again, this is the infancy stage, right? We're just coming out of like the tech enthusiasts. So that, there's 23,000 people on the network, that covers over 100 countries. But if you've noticed about halfway through the bullet points, really the magic started to happen when we brought on our new CMO, our Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Frank Fausto, which I affectionately nicknamed the Google guy because he was with Google almost from the very beginning in 2003 and stayed there for 15 years as their lead trainer, right? He invented the Google Channel Partner Program. This is a very talented, amazing individual. By his own accord, he calls himself a marketing nerd. And, I used to poke fun at nerds. Now I want to hire them. They're really smart, much smarter than me. And then you'll notice that a lot of things just happened, right? The launching of our premium content platform, launching of our P3 system, which is something that supports the direct sales industry. And just a couple weeks ago, and we're still getting a couple little kinks worked out, it's nothing major, is launching the world's first ever integrated virtual conferencing platform. So it's going to be a very fast ride from this point on because we're attracting bigger clients. So instead of like picking up one customer at a time, we're talking to people that have 100,000, 1 million, 5 million people in their database of who they actually have either followers on social media or belong to their sales organization. So it's going to grow very quickly.
Yeah, and I think it's also because when we looked at, people want to be seen, they want to be heard, right? But in the other realms of social media and everything that's out there for the entrepreneur, they're just continuously suppressing everybody's ability to connect and grow their business. And I'm really excited that we've brought such incredible team members involved to get this message out.
Now, I might be showing my age here, Tanya, and I agree with you about the suppression because these companies are really out to just sell your data to an advertiser, right? That's the whole point, is they want to feed that advertising world because that's, the old school mentality from, television, radio. Everybody was selling advertising, and the bigger you got, the more expensive it became. That's how they make their money. So I get that.
Right.
What drives me crazy, and maybe because I'm a baby boomer, it's not easy, right, to be online because the way these companies, a lot of them are monopolies, for the lack of a better word, and they don't play nice with each other, right? You have to go to multiple different companies to perform a simple function of selling your product or service or, your course or forming a membership. And then you combine that, right, with the suppression. Then you have to give time to each of these different infrastructures dealing with different customer service issues. It drives me crazy.
Well, and especially since most of these platforms take a huge percentage. We're not talking like, 1% of your sales. If you're selling your courses, you're selling your products, something like that, even, say YouTube, Kajabi, all of these companies take a percentage. And we're like, let's not do that. Let's let people keep the money that they make.
Well, you're braver than me because I don't want to get a 800-pound gorilla mad at me. But I was talking to somebody.
Bring them on. Bring them on.
The lawyers in the background freaking out. Don't say that. Don't say that. I was talking to somebody the other day who actually is in the premium content. They're on television a lot, in the different countries they're in, and they were talking about one of the big name companies. And I said, do they take any of the money that you get when you do like a course or something? And he's like, yeah, they get half. And I about fell out of my chair because that's not my, I'm your operations guy. They took half. You did all the work, created the course, you have the following, and they get half of your revenue. I thought that was insane. And he's like, well, how much do you take? I said, none.
I'm sure he fell out of his seat then.
He's like, what? How do you survive? I said, we'll get into that in just a second. So anyway, this, ladies and gentlemen, is the online platform that does it all. It's a unicorn, right? It's the first of its kind This is the future of business, where you can do your video conferencing and broadcasting and your social media, and form groups and get AI technology to find new leads and move your premium content. And then if you're in a direct sales organization or an affiliate program, we've made it so you can use your best people, but all the other people can get credit for things that are sold in the moment. So you can perform multiple tasks with only one password. So we like to say here, be smart and be virtual and be connected. So you can see how amazing these companies are in their niche markets. But what will happen when, well, it's already happening, right? Where we've combining all of their type of technology, their philosophy, from the conferencing to the video content to the social media, to the business world and the premium content, and put it all in one place. And we made it incredibly simple. There's if you're with us, you know what this is, right? This is your homepage or your virtual office, and you can just go from one category to the next, just like you would, shopping, scanning or searching on Netflix for your favorite TV show. So we make it so your social media, and you can drop down and immediately start a show or work with your groups. So at your fingertips, you have all this technology and all these platforms. And what scares some people, because before we get to it, they're like, well, how much is this going to cost me, right? This looks amazing. But then, of course, they're a little afraid. And then we'll talk about how affordable you made this for the world.
Absolutely.
Now, some people make a lot of money. They don't care what something costs. That's not their focus. If they're already making, $250,000 a year, a couple million a year, they're wanting to know about efficiency, right? So they wanting to know about increasing their bottom line. So let's start in the beginning, because this is really simple now. We're on the actual world's first integrated virtual conferencing platform, where you've supplied now links, right there on the screen. Now, what's that all about?
There's nothing more effective than having people take advantage of something while they're in the moment. And, I've been doing shows and events and summits, for a long time. And I've always wanted to be able for the customer to take advantage of what's right there in front of them. And then taking up a notch where anybody can help promote the event, and whatever you're promoting, you're still getting credit for. So I love that it's not only available for a live show, but for nowadays, since most people are watching things in replay, those live links are still live. That's why they're called live links. So those buttons are ready for someone to take advantage of it, and you don't have to figure out, oh, how am I going to give them the link after they watch it?
It's funny, a lot of people that know us, right? First off, they think we're a couple. I'm like, we never fight, so we're not a couple. The second thing is, we're like yin and yang, and it's funny how you describe it, and I'm just the opposite. I look at this because I get very frustrated with the current technology out there. They want you to go find the solution in chat, and chat's wonderful to mix it up with people. But if it comes down to like laying down a link, and like right now we have a ton of people on, the chat's been flying by. And so if you give somebody instructions in the chat, now they got to go like on a search party to go find out where did it go. And so that's why I love that you put everything right in front of the consumer. Now we call this K2K, or Care to Connect. That is our software. This is ours. We own it. We created the code. Everything now, finally, after 4 years, is 100% authentically BeeKonnected, no third-party entities. And we've integrated the premium content within the K2K system, along with something called the P3 system. And then there's too much technology to talk about. We don't want to wear people out by being the geeks that we probably are, because we love our baby, and a lot of people just want to cut to the chase. So now, how many people can benefit from this new model, right? Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new model, never been done before, where we've taken all the technology that you would get over the course of, say, 6 or 7 different companies and put it in one place. And of course, these are our 3 targeted industries that we can massively support. One is the direct sales industry, which is about 125 million people. Obviously, Zoom is the household name because of the pandemic, where we all were freaking out and forced into, right, having to do something to go virtual. And then there's the social media realm, which is approaching 5 billion people are out there mixing it up. So those are our three demographic markets. Our price points, the entry level into BeeKonnected, like it is the same on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and the rest of them, it's free. It's free to join. It's free to stay. It's not a free trial period. And you can get your own virtual conferencing room or a K2K system, and you can do some social media posting. And then as your business, because that's who we support as the business world, starts to scale, and you're going to need, the ability to have more people listen, learn, watch you. Then as it goes from 100 attendees, 250, 500, 1,000 and beyond, we have those price points. Now, how does that measure up compared to the competition, if you will? And I don't really think there's competition, because most of these companies only specialize, right, Tanya, in one particular technology.
Right. People, they love comparing us. I'm like, you can't really compare one. You have to put them all together because we're not just one.
So here is an example of household names, which you wanted to pull in. So of course, Zoom is, the obviously the biggest, but they're definitely, in my opinion, not the best. They want $340 a month, and that's if you can afford to pay for it up front. If you want 1,000 attendees, I relate that to like being a crack dealer, where you let somebody start out for free, and then when they get hooked, then you like 30x their invoice.
Right.
Crazy. Now remember, Zoom just does virtual conferencing, and Kajabi, which is a very powerful, very big company, 85 million paying customers, their most popular product, so to speak, based on their website and their definition, is almost another $300 a month. So you have to buy both. You have to buy, that's a lot of money, right? And that will kill people in some of the other places that I visited around the world. Like a lot of people know my history of living both in America and Asia for the last 17 years. And over there in my beloved adopted country of Thailand, most of the people make $5 a day. A day. That's $150 a month. And they would look at this, go, you want what?
Right.
Is this bots, not dollars? So now you compare that to BeeKonnected, where we have a special going on for 50% off our best package. So it's like cut down to $50. So the question becomes, would you like a company that does all the technology, made it simpler, more effective, and it's what is that? The $300, $640 a month, and that's not counting all their hidden fees, versus 50. So that's kind of where we're at. And so this is like Kajabi, where they do amazing work, but they don't do virtual conferencing. And so that's why you have to buy both, where BeeKonnected gives you the virtual conferencing and the broadcasting, and then be able to do all the things that you need to do to move your premium content. So that is kind of where we're at. Now, as a disruptor that you are, then what you did is you decided that you weren't going to stop there. Right. Then you were going to offer the entrepreneurs the ability to build another revenue stream. What is that all about?
Well, because I looked at building Facebook, and I built Zoom, and I built, and you're like, well, I did all of this work for these companies, and they never even sent a thank you letter. Thank you very much. So I'm like, hey, how can we, connect together and help each other grow?
So this is what I'm saying to a lot of people, especially if they're out there hard at work doing what they do, and they're like, oh, I love this, I love that. And I said, well, great. Well, if you're going to grow a following, don't just concentrate on supersizing your following. Why don't you monetize it at the same time? So we're talking to people now that have hundreds of thousands. Some have millions of followers that know their name, but they're getting scraps, if that. Some of them don't get anything by putting out that content unless they actually sell something. So what we want to do,
crazy talk.
So what we want to do is we want to monetize it. Now I break this down, ladies and gentlemen, to 3 categories, because it's not a one-size-fits-all world. So many people out there have multiple skill sets, and I break it down into 3. One is the doer. These are the people that create videos all the time. They're putting out premium content. They're doing webinars. They're doing podcasts. They are the bedrock of the people that make things happen. But then there's another skill set of individuals, and those are the recruiters. They're kind of like what a sports agent does for the athlete, right? They take care of them. So the recruiter here would go find the talent and introduce them to a platform where they can make more money. And then the third category, and that's what I did for the majority of my adult life, is I was a builder. I was a builder of sales forces or sales teams. You know, I started out and I was absolutely pathetically bad. And then I got okay. And then I had some multimillionaires kind of get in my head and wash out all the lies, if I can say that without people taking it the wrong way, that I was fed about how to become successful. And some of my coaches became like #1 on the Inc. 500 list, building billion-dollar companies. And so then I got to be really good at what I did. And you got to focus on helping the other individual become successful and not focus so much on yourself. And that's what a builder focuses on, is helping companies grow. So we've got some companies out there that are circling the wagons that have millions of people in their sales forces. And they're saying, wow, this is amazing, but we got to build that solid relationship because we're going to take over their communication platform. Okay, so knowing that there's 3 kinds of people, you see if there's a place for you here at BeeKonnected. So obviously we have 4 categories on the screen with multiple streams of income. Now, Tanya, why did you put multiple streams of income? Because most people are just used to doing a function and getting paid one time.
What? Be normal? I don't understand that.
I think you had somebody that had a B to his name.
Yeah, there's a gentleman that I met, I guess about 2007. His name's Bill. He's a billionaire. And one day I just sat down with him. I'm like, Bill, I don't understand. How can you be a billionaire and I'm not? Because frankly, you're not that impressive. And he thought that was really funny because I've never heard anybody say that to me before. But he goes, you know, it's just reality. He goes, I create multiple income streams in everything that I do. Not just, you know, multiple income streams like I'm going to be an Uber driver, and then realtor, and a Mary Kay lady all at the same time. But in one thing that you're doing, you're making multiple income streams. So I wanted to make sure that our, you know, members here have that same opportunity.
So the first one in the category A, I know you've got an influencer on board here, very young. I jokingly say I have Tommy Bahama shirts in my closet. They're almost as old as he is. So it just makes me feel really old. But he has millions and millions of people, and he wants to now monetize his talent, right? Because obviously with 5 million people in his social media following, he obviously, first off, I know he's a creative genius because I've seen his videos. They're just absolutely A, hilarious, and B, they're brilliant. So he's reaching out and wanting to be coached by BeeKonnected on how to create the premium content that he can go out there and offer to his 5 million following. Now, obviously, in category A, you don't take any of that money that he creates. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, I know these other big name companies, which I will not name, which will take up to 50%. And he has 2 million followers on that same platform, which I will not say, right? But again, it's a big name. Everybody knows it. It's a household name around the world. And they're going to, if he were to do this over there, he would immediately lose 50% of the money that he creates. And so I just think that that is something that is not said enough. Now, category B is where we start to excite some people and lose some people, because we created something that's not an MLM platform, even though we support that industry. We wanted to build a compensation specifically designed for social media. And so when we get into that, you'll understand why we did what we did. Now, C is the VIP Platinum, and we're going to get into that because it was closed until, you know, something happened that opened it up temporarily again, probably be another week. And then you can take advantage of that. And then D is like that's the trophy, right? That's, if you get into the D category, you're pretty much on easy street. Your life will never be the same. So we go and focus on B. B is our two-tiered, not 2 levels, 2-tiered affiliate program, because it has unlimited compression. Now, if you don't understand all these terminologies, don't worry about it. the money that you create, we're going to automatically put it into your virtual wallet if you understand it or not.
I love that.
Go every week and withdraw your commissions. And if you can't figure it out, don't worry about it. It's still your money. So this is an example where one of our affiliates, you got to be a platinum member to be an affiliate. That's it. There's no additional charge. And in this case, John brought in Jane and told Jane about BeeKonnected, and Jane just signed up. That's it. John didn't have to do anything special. Jane just goes online in a couple minutes. She's got a new, an incredible business platform. Now, Jane's a free member. And so all the people Jane's going to network with and talk to on our virtual conferencing platform and do things, anybody that comes to BeeKonnected that decides to be an upgraded member versus free, and it could be free that tells free that tells free, it doesn't stop until somebody upgrades. That commission belongs to John. And of course, it doesn't sound like a lot of money because it's only $1.30 up to $10 per month, depending on which package it is. But you have to understand, in social media, some people have 10 people, some have 10,000, some have 10 million people in their following, and that can add up really quickly. Now, Jane says, hold the phone, John. That's my network. That's my business. Those are my people. I want to get the upgrades. She can upgrade to affiliate status herself. And then John is not cut out of helping Jane join BeeKonnected. The reward is, that's when the second tier kicks in and it becomes 100% match. So if Jane ends up making $500, John makes $500 in the first tier. If Jane makes $5,000, John makes $5,000. There's no limitation. So that is a two-tiered system. So here's an example. If you start messing around and you start talking to bigger companies like a Chamber of Commerce, an influencer, a direct sales company, this is where it adds up really quickly. Now remember, you only do one transaction, which can turn into hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands or more. Is let's take an influencer, let's say a small influencer that let's say has 500,000 people in their, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And you talk to them and they say, hey, listen, I want to, do some premium content. I want to bring some of my network over to BeeKonnected. Let's say they convert 1%. One. That's not like, that's not pie in the sky or smoke and mirrors. 1%. Because of our compensation, I'm taking the middle of the road, and that can create $25,000 a month in passive residual income for both parties, both the influencer and the affiliate of record that brought that influencer. They both get to make an equal amount of money, so it doesn't detract from one or the other. Now remember, the influencer will also be able to have a second tier income on those 5,000 people that upgraded. Then that influencer also gets to make money off the entire following of the other 5,000 people. And those numbers can be quite ridiculous. And I don't want to freak anybody out here today. Okay, so do you want to kind of now chime in about what happened? Because we have a VIP Platinum. We call this a company bonus pool. You can earn profits from the entire company.
Right. We wanted to say, for a lot of times, when you're looking at investments into any kind of company, most people are cut out because, they just can't come up with $1 million. But we wanted to create something that anybody could be a part of and help us grow BeeKonnected.
Now, we started this quite a ways back, and then we got to a point. So what we do here, ladies and gentlemen, is we take 10% of all of our global sales of our memberships, and we set that aside to our VIP Platinum members. Now, it has to be specific because how this is working. So first off, I want to bring on board, this is foreign to a lot of people because most people, this is a little, by the way, this is an example of Robert Kiyosaki's a brilliant cash flow quadrant explanation that he outlines in his classic Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he breaks it down to employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor, those four categories. Now, 95% of the world are in the E and the S quadrant. So a lot of times when you start talking about the B and the I quadrant, people shut down because they think it's complicated, and it's not. The difference is leverage, right? Are you leveraging your world, not just time, but people as well. And so with the VIP Platinum, people then can participate the way we've set this up, so you can have a passive residual income based on the efforts of not what you do, but what the entire company does. Now, I took a little quote from someone that I studied when I was growing up in business. He's no longer with us, obviously. J. Paul Getty, super massively successful. And his famous quote was, he'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people instead of 100% of his own. And you can tell it's old, Tanya, because he says the efforts of 100 men.
We won't hold it against him right now.
We weren't really in the workforce back, because this is a long time ago, but this is one of the original billionaires, right? Or one of the first billionaires, not the first, but one of the first billionaires, very powerful individual. I don't know if people know this, Tanya, but his actual portfolio is wealthier now, and he's been gone for a long time. It just keeps on going. His world that he created keeps making more and more money, even though he's no longer with us. It's kind of amazing. So here's the rules in the VIP Platinum. First off, it's 10% of all our global sales. There's a maximum of 1,000 units. Now, this was closed, and then there was one of our top, actually the top, right? The top VIP Platinum member wanted more, and you and her were talking, and she's elevated her status to become an actual investor in BeeKonnected.
Yeah, we had a conversation. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't just keep buying, become an equity partner. And she's like, oh, I could do that. So we had a long conversation, and we were so excited that she immediately wanted to jump on with you and go over the numbers. And so
and so what we're saying here, if you're brand new, we this made available 50 of the units, because we had already actually maxed out the pool. And so they traded in their units, and then they put in more money, and they become an equity partner. So they put in a lot of money. So the point is, there's now 50 units that are available. Now, what does all this mean? First off, the net profits are paid quarterly. And we're about to take off like a jackrabbit right now because of what's happening. There's no production quota required. Once all the units are allocated, the pool is closed. And that's where it was up until this person decided to upgrade their status and was nice enough to relinquish their 50 units they owned. And of course, the pool cannot be diluted. So here's an example, just what's about to happen, right? It took us 4 years to get to this point in time. And so the numbers on the screen here represent, if you look over to the left side, the numbers in black would be how many upgraded paid members. The numbers in light blue will represent the net profits. And then remember, now 10% of those net profits are being paid quarterly to the VIP Platinum members. So you can see here, when we have 100,000, and we have 1 million and 5 million and 10 million and beyond, the kind of money that someone can have. And this is an illustration owning 2 units or owning 10 units. You can see it can become quite lucrative. So you want to get with someone, and they can run that by you, or you can jump on with customer service, and they'll set you up with the time that we can have an individual conversation. Okay, so we want to wrap this up and talk about VIP Elite, because this is the exciting time, right, Tanya? Because we got some companies coming in here from their own personal following. They don't even need any help from outside, recruiting or building. They have enough people themselves in their own personal following, in other words, category A, to accomplish this. But here's the beauty. They were brought by someone else. So it's like 2 people simultaneously. Now it's the first 20 affiliate partners that break the ceiling of 10,000 upgraded team members in BeeKonnected will receive company preferred stock pre-IPO. And again, we have videos and explanations for this. We don't want to wear people out. But what happens is, that's part of that I quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki was talking about, where your money is now making you money. And so you have equity in a tech company that's getting ready to take off like a jackrabbit. And so again, it works into the 7 and 8 figures just when we have 1 million paid members. So with that said, at the end of this, we have 3 types of people, right? The first person is just not interested, it's just not their flavor. It doesn't move the needle. The second person wants to become a BeeKonnected member and start working on our platform. And the third person wants to be that beta user and take advantage of the 50% special. So you want to just simply, now are we on the P3 system today?
Yes.
Okay, so let me find my way back. Okay, the screen share's off. Okay, so you saw an amazing video the other day, did you not?
Absolutely. It's incredible. You know, every time I see something that Mr. Frausto and Mr. Dubs creates, it's so much not just fun, but so informative and so clear. I just loved how simple it was. And it was all focused on the premium content.
Okay, so you spoke to the people with us and they understood what you just said. So your chief marketing officer and your chief content officer got together and did a little powwow to explain premium content in a very non-intrusive, non-abrasive explanation. And where can someone go and find that video?
Click the button. So that button down in the left corner that says Blitz. The Blitz event details, the video is right there for you to download and utilize, you know, send out.
So yesterday there were 3 videos in the Blitz information. Today there's now 4.
Yay.
So there's been an additional video for all the old timers. It is an amazing video. And again, it's a great video that once you kind of, you know, poke the bear and you send somebody a 1-minute video and they want to know more information, this is an incredible piece to get in the hands of a CEO, an influencer, someone who has an organization, someone who specifically has premium content they're doing on another platform that's taking half their money. This is insanity, right? That these companies are getting away with bloody murder by taking half of people's livelihood because they put some technology out there and then they're charging you anyway to be on their platforms. So it's just like the craziest crazy talk. So we got to tell the message to the world. BeeKonnected is shown up here as kind of like a savior. We're here to help you grow your business, but not taking your left kidney in the process, right? So we want to help you make more money. And of course,
no kidneys are required.
We get just a little bit, right? So again, a little from a not a lot from a little. And so that is the message you want to get forward. It's simple, it's affordable, it's efficient. So you want to be smart and be virtual, but you want to be connected in the process, right? So that is the whole process of BeeKonnected. Now, there's a wild ride coming. I'm going to say is strap in. We're not perfect. We're just regular entrepreneurs out there hanging on for dear life because, you know, it's coming, right? And when you scale like this, and I'm sure Zoom went through the same thing when the pandemic, they went from 10 million to 300 million in 18 months. 10 million to 300 million. That's 290 million customers. That blows my mind in 18 months. But there's a new sheriff in town.
Exactly.
That does multiple things. And when you add in the premium content and the P3 system, the higher echelon people who are running massive organizations are appreciating, Tanya, what your IT department has put together, right? How they can accelerate their not our sales, their sales.
Exactly.
But this whole take half your money, that I didn't know that, right? Because it's not my world. Where you come from, the 7 years you supported coaches and trainers around the world. I would be calling 911. In America, that's the number you dial when you're in a bad situation, right? You're being mugged, you're being robbed. I'd be dialing 911 every time I sold a course if they took half my money. But then people don't know they have an option,
right?
Because these companies have monopolies on the internet because it's very expensive, it's very time consuming, it's a very risky business. So again, we have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to make history by building the world's best social, not media, but social business platform for the world where the people can participate. So again, the Blitz is on. You want to be building to Saturday show so we can cap off the week and getting all the new people on board. People are signing up for free and wanting to understand more information. Bring them to our Saturday shows and we can give them a little bit of love and then they can hear from the principal people of the internet. And I encourage every one of you, if you have not watched, it's 9 minutes, okay? That's 9 minutes. If you watched a TV show for an hour, you already wasted 9 minutes of watching commercial. Watch a video that can change your life. And that's Frank Fausto, aka the Google guy, our Chief Marketing Officer, and David Dubbs doing an amazing job explaining what is the aspect of premium content. And they also have another fireside chat, right, where they talk about, I don't even remember what they talk about, but it's a 15-minute video. But these are incredibly well done videos, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're thinking about creating video content, they're leading by example of what the tone is, especially like when you're doing a blitz. Now, I see a lot of wishes. Now, how many people are excited? Just put in the chat, put a 1. I'll make it simple. Just put a 1 if you're excited and be connected here today. Boss, any parting words here for, look at that. Okay, I should watch what I asked for. If I wrote a command in the chat right now, it would be gone forever. You know, what was it? Hide and seek. That was the game you played as a kid, right? That's where a link would be right now. If you ask something of someone and everybody chimes in, and then you write a command and it's gone. And people are still going, oh, I love this platform. And I'm like, why? You don't even,
because a lot of times they don't understand what they even just said, right? I was talking to a lady and she's like, oh, Tanya, I found this company and they can help you create a show. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's what we do here. And then she's like, oh, it's with Roku. And I'm like, okay, that's like so 2010. I said, catch up. That's the problem. And I understand with small businesses is by the time that they actually understand what something can do for them, it's already too late, right? It's already past the wave. So don't miss the wave. Everyone, put a W for wave. Catch the wave.
Okay, you're getting a little punchy on me now. Okay. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. We do appreciate you all. We love you all. All right. Go out there and enjoy yourself. Keep up the good work on the blitz. Like I said, a lot of bigger clients showing up to the table. Now, again, for those of you in the bonus pool, remember, every success in BeeKonnected is your success. Every time we have a new member, that's more money in your pocket. So again, you're participating in the whole. And of course, if you can get into that VIP elite, that's where it's really going to pay dividends. When we have 5 million, 10 million, 50 million customers, you'll understand, right? When we go through our IPO here coming up in the very near future. Everyone, enjoy the rest of you. We can be safe out there, be smart out there. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Recording has stopped.